So I'm just going to clue everyone in on what's been going on. It's like 11:30. I've been driving for more than 13 or 14 hours. And it's really only supposed to be a 3 hour, maybe 3 hour and 15-minute drive each way. This winter storm showed up about 24 hours too early. I was trying to beat it, but I obviously, as you can see, did not. I don't have chains because when I left the house, they weren't required, and all of the predictive programming, as it were, said that, the storm really wouldn't hit until very late Saturday night, Sunday morning sometime. So I had a full 24-hour window to make a 6-hour round trip. Conditions are not very good. The roads are completely iced over. I'm doing 25 miles an hour. The LR3 is great. It's phenomenal in adverse conditions. Towing a D2 in these conditions, I cannot stress enough how stupid of an idea that was. So I got to a certain point coming up the climb back into California through the Sierra Nevadas. Carson Pass. I think that's where I got turned around. Carson Pass. I think it's roughly 10,000 feet elevation, maybe 8,000, somewhere around there. It's fairly high. Not the highest pass that we have in the Sierras, but it's up there. And anyway, I got stopped and turned around because the trailer didn't have chains, which is funny because they let me through on the way, but conditions change. So I headed back down the hill, and the weight of the D2 on the trailer is a little bit too much for the LR3 in these conditions. On dry pavement, it was really fine. Acceleration was greatly diminished, obviously, but otherwise braking and steering and stuff was still fine. So got turned around by the officials, and on my way back down the hill, because of the weight, the trailer actually jackknifed. Two people. I cannot understand people. The D3 was starting to struggle a little bit for traction going downhill. It's 18 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe a little colder at this point. The road's frozen. All of this snow, this is frozen. I'm driving on ice. That's why I'm going so slow. And so I was starting to fight for traction. So I was actually just going to pull off to the right-hand side of the road up here. And there's a hotel that had a pretty generous sized parking lot. And I was just going to try and, collect myself and then go again. Someone passed me on the shoulder here on the right-hand side of the road, because you kind of got to drive in the middle in conditions like this. Swerves to the side while I have my turn signal on, passes me on this side, so I didn't swerve, but it was just enough too much steering input in these conditions to really upset the vehicle. Then on the left-hand side, someone was very impatient because I was going so slow, so they passed me on this side. So it was a 1-2, a right and then a left, and that sent the disco, the LR3, D3, whatever, into a bit of a tizzy. So I immediately downshift to allow some more engine braking. It was not enough, so I actually throw it in neutral. Well, very lightly. I don't know if I actually touched the brakes, but I was thinking about it, because I know touching the brakes is bad. But I needed to slow it down at least a little bit. Threw it in neutral, threw it in 4 low, flipped on the sand, snow, and mud or whatever, the grass, gravel, and snow setting. And it started to get traction again, which was incredible, but it was not enough. So I ended up with a jackknife trailer on the side of the road, a little bit of bumper damage to the D3. And then the D3 pulled itself and the D2 out of pretty, I don't know, 1.5 foot deep ditch with the trailer attached, which was very impressive. So then I was like, hey, you know what? I can't go back down the hill. It's quite a steep grade. Even in dry conditions, speed limit around here is about 35 miles per hour. So a bit precarious even in good conditions. Go back to the checkpoint, and I tell the guy, I'm like, hey, look, man, I don't know what to do. I cannot go back down the hill. The roads are iced over. How about I just park on the side of the road and camp out? To which point, a police officer threatened to cite me because I was blocking traffic, of which there was no traffic. I was the only person coming or going. Here's the hotel. Let's see if we can actually see my... Maybe not. Yeah, you can still see tire marks where I was trying to go in and all cattywampus right here. And so I'm sitting here trying to get, good advice from an official, and they're threatening to ticket me. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now, man? Like, come on. I'm not trying to be stupid and, just go. I understand road conditions are obviously very poor. But I'm asking you, sir official, for some advice. So, the three of us, the police officer and the highwayman, out here in the States, it's called Caltrans. They deal with road conditions and such. Kind of talked it over, and I started to tell the police officer basically he can go park it somewhere else because I was done with his attitude. He can write me a ticket or shut his mouth. I don't do well with hostile police officers. There's no need for it. This is America still, dang it. I digress. So we talked it over. They suggested a particular spot where I actually dropped the trailer for the evening. I started to head back down the hill, which is so much. It's not an issue at all, even in these conditions. In the D3 without that trailer. I mean, that was really starting to push the D3's towing capacity anyway. The Discovery 2 is 4,500 pounds or so. And the trailer I had was about another 2,000, so it's getting right up there with the D3's towing capacity. And then you add the road conditions, it's not great. And so drop the trailer, start heading back down the hill. This is like the 4th time I've driven past this section of road. Head back down the hill, and I get about halfway, and I'm like, man, I didn't see what size the trailer tires are. Go to pull out my phone, and I know it's not great to do what I'm doing now, obviously. I'm staring at the road, and my phone is pointed straight, and I'm going very slowly. And I didn't see a picture in my phone. I don't know if it had a little hiccup or glitched out or what have you. So I got to where there was no more snow at the bottom of the hill, only to turn around, come back up, drive through all of this again, actually make sure not only did I get a good picture, but I wrote it down in a note in my phone, dropped myself a pin on the GPS where my vehicle is parked. Now I'm headed back to town where there's a Walmart, and I'm going to sleep in the D3, and hopefully conditions naturally improve in the morning. The storm is dying down now, so I'm hoping that with warmer temperatures in the morning, things thaw out a little bit. Plus, they should plow and salt the roads and such. And I'm going to buy a set of chains, one for every, well, not one set of chain for every tire, but I'm going to get 4 chains on the D3 and then 4 chains on the trailer. and try and get this sucker home in the morning. This has been... I genuinely don't scare easy. I have been in a large number of accidents, vehicle, motorcycle. People have hit me with their cars. I've been in knife fights. I've been in a gunfight. I've been shot at. I don't scare easy. I don't do the jump scare thing where, someone behind a corner. I don't react. And this has been quite, I don't want to say the word terrifying, but holy crap, it has been nerve-wracking. I never want to do this again for any reason or any amount of money for anything. So, it makes a good story if I don't die. Almost went off the edge when the trailer jackknifed. It was pretty scary, not gonna lie. My ditch was to, steer into the skid, gain a little traction, and then just throw the sucker into the ditch. The ditch is better than the cliff. So it just absolutely boggles my mind and makes me a little angry that people drive so recklessly in such terrible conditions. Maybe I am going a little too slow. I don't think so, obviously, considering the conditions and the issues I've had. But, if I'm going too slow, just look at the road. It's crazy. It's frozen. It's not just, it's not just little snow drifts. So I don't understand people, and it makes me very sad, and it makes me very angry. So I'm going to update again when I get to Walmart, I guess. I'm going to try and focus. I haven't eaten anything in about 36 hours now. Pretty hungry. Got a couple of bottles of water with me. The things you do for a Land Rover.